Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And it is Friday night, and I know one thing that I can tell you: the football season is back, and aren't we on the agenda? Absolutely buzzing, looking forward to it. And we are previewing tonight Manchester United versus Brighton for the Sunday game. So, guys, welcome. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And as I said earlier, yes, we are previewing Manchester United versus Brighton tonight. And as always, I'm joined by Omondi. Sir, how are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm just glad to see you fresh faces here. It's good. Like you said, a great intro. Like you said, built it up, the excitement. Arsenal just kicked off as well. They're playing well, and yeah, I just can't wait for the season to begin on Sunday for us from Man United.
And Brush, as you said about new faces, we have there is a face now to you. So, sir, how are you feeling today? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I actually thought I'd bother to set the phone up properly and onto landscape mode.
Brilliant, brilliant. And as always, it's an absolute pleasure having you on, getting your insight about Manchester United. At the moment, for me, this is not my usual setup. I am not at my house, so as you can hear, the dogs are barking. Apologies about that, guys. But before we go on to it, I just want to say to everyone, thank you everyone for liking, sharing, subscribing. If you're new to the channel as well, guys, just smash us a like and give us a subscribe as well. So let's kickstart the show, and we're going to be previewing obviously Manchester United versus Brighton. Amanda, would you mind going through some of these comments? Because a few people are coming in with some of the comments already. Sorry, let's go through some first.
So good evening to Eddie. How you doing, Eddie? Well, before we say good evening to all, hit the like, must win game. This is be a big test and a good battle for the possession. That's it. Wrap up the show. He just explained everything. Gavin Ward is saying Solo must be running late again. It always seems when Gavin's on and we're always late because you're on Solo. Because
I know. Apologies, Gavin. I do apologize for that.
A bad reputation now. Matthew Bassett, one of our very own in the house. How you doing, Matthew Bassett? Thanks for all the hard work you're doing behind the scenes. We really do appreciate you, bro. Vincent is in the house all the way from Brummie saying hi, guys. We're saying hi back to Vincent. Big up, man. We've got Bath Time in the house as well. Bath Time done another video today. Really good insight into Ronaldo.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
About Bath Time. Is Love Island finished, yeah?
Yes, it is finished, yeah. I can answer that because I'm a fan as well. But Bath Time, as we know, is the number one fan here. He just cut off the whole world so he can just tune in to Ekinzu. But he's saying here, I would boo, but this is the first time I've seen Brush on the show. Shout out to him and his wallpaper.
Absolute legend. And Gavin Wood again.
Gavin here is saying, sorry, Solo, I didn't mean to get ribbing you. It's all banter, mate. We know that. We know that. It's good.
We're good. So, guys, let's kickstart the show. And what I want to do, it is a topic I don't really want to go in too much with it. But listening to some of the conversation that Ten Hag had today with the media, I'm going to go with the first one with Frankie de Jong. And we're going to go on to the whole preview in the show. But first things first, I want to say that on one of his comments today, he was saying about commenting on a player who's contracted to another club. When he have news, he'll bring it to us. Now, is that a sign to say that pre-season has happened? The season is here now. Is it time now we just wash our hands away from Frankie de Jong and then move on now and then concentrate on what we have for now whilst the season starts? Brush?
Listen, it's exactly what it says on the tin. I don't think you can put it any simpler than what he said. You just have to get on with it.
Yeah. Amanda?
Yeah, I just echo what Brush is saying as well. Look, the season started now. Let's focus on game by game. In the manager's word, we go out there to win every game. I like that quote. I know we probably talk about the press conference. I've watched it. I'm a body language expert, I believe. There's a lot of little things to take from that. But yeah, I believe we've got to trust in the manager now. Got to trust in the players that we have. That's all we can do. We can't speculate about, oh, if we had this guy in, or if we didn't get this, why we wait so long. We've got a team sheet we've got to put out an hour before the game. Those are the players we've got to get behind and support 100%. You might not like some of them, but we want to get 3 points. We want to push on. There's no point wasting time moaning and groaning anymore. It's done. What's done is done. And the intention is good. That's what I like. I always, when I question people or question someone's judgment, the question I always ask to people, what is their spirit like? What's their intention like, you know? And I believe that Ten Hag's intention is that he wants to win every game because he speaks it, he says it. And he wants to be successful. You see, he's a youngish guy, first time in English League, Premiership. And I think he's already realizing, wow, this is a bit extra, all the stuff that he doesn't like to deal with, he gets a bit irritated with, you know, which is non-footballing stuff, or asking questions about things where you can see he's getting irritated. He's got to learn to be a bit cooler with those sort of things, you know. And I think the fans do too, because the fans are the ones who pile the pressure on by saying, oh, we're talking about Frankie de Jong all the time, discussing transfer issues, something Brush, which I'm learning from Brush. Brush doesn't deal with that. Said, nah, we know how I deal with them things.
Listen, that's what
Brush under the carpet.
I don't have an issue with how Eric speaks. I encourage it.
Yeah,
he doesn't partake in the nonsense.
Yeah, and I think he's just give the clear and precise answer as well. Every time he get asked a question.
Yeah, because listen, man, this is going to run all the way to the end of the transfer window. Like, we can speak about it till the cows come home, but just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to ask you guys this question, and you can just answer it, not going around in any sort of order. He basically came out as well and said, obviously, throughout the preseason, he's been very happy with the squad and with the players he's got at the moment at his disposal. Could you guys right now, obviously from a manager's point of view, I think this is probably one of our better preseason build-up, where behind, obviously, Man United, it's like a circus 9 times out of 10, but where they brought the cameras and you can actually see the players, you can see what sort of some of the players are taking on some of the information. But going on, is this probably, as I said, one of our better preseason in years? On Monday?
Name a name. Name a name. We're very polite out here. We only respond.
Okay, sorry. Okay, on Monday. Let's go start from Monday.
All right. Okay. So, is this one of our better pre-seasons we've seen in years? I judge pre-season not really on results. I just want to see progression. Now, the main progression we've got a new manager, we've got a new system, new style of play, everything we know about. So, what we're seeing is something different to what we've seen in a long time. It's a new style of play, it's a new brand of football that we should be seeing. It's only in nursery stages right now. The players are still picking it up. But from what I see, I can see, okay, there's definitely a transition here. There's definitely an attitude adjustment with some of the players as well. I think that some of the players want to be on board. Not all of them. There's one player in particular who's not playing ball at the moment. But once we filter that out, I think once we get everyone on board, it's going to be great. I watched a bit. I'm not going to talk about Arsenal so much. I've watched like 15 minutes of their game before we jumped on this show, and they look like they're bubbling. I watched the All or Nothing episodes, 2 of them that came out today, and I think they're doing really well. And it's about attitude. That's the attitude, about the mentality of the group. That's what Arteta's trying to employ. And he's had a few years to do it. And he's filtered out the bad eggs. And now he's starting to get players on board, working hard. And the first 15 minutes I saw from them suggest that they are on it this season, you know, attitude-wise. Whether they win the league, whether they get points or get in the top 4, I don't know. But the attitude has to be right. And that's what I want to see from Manchester United. From kickoff on Sunday, everything that happened in the past, losing to Atletico, 1-0, all these things, it's all about practice, experience, learning, making mistakes to get it right for the Premiership, which starts tomorrow. So I think it's gone okay. I'm quite optimistic about what's going to happen in the next few weeks. I just still think we need players, but I'm not going to talk about that. The players that we got, they've got to be on board. And if their attitude's right, they start and they put their 100% in and they follow instruction. And I think we do all right based on that.
Brush?
Yeah, pretty much that. And obviously, I think there's been a more emphasis on this season's pre-season just because of the manager's arrival and to, see what he's about and to see what he can do with the squad. So in terms of that, and like OMONDI said, it's not really about the results as such. You just want to see what he's trying to implement, what they're trying to do. And the early signs are good. In terms of what he said about the squad, I think, you know, you can't come out and say, "Oh, listen, half these players are whack. I can't work with them." You have to just roll with it. So obviously he's going to say he's happy, but I mean, most of us can see when you look at that squad, you know, it's going to be a difficult season.
Yeah. It is quite a thin squad, to be honest with you. But for me, when you look at the squad we have now and what he's sort of trying to install within the players and the attitude of what you've seen from preseason so far, we've got to be positive. We've got to be optimistic, because it seems like he's coming down and he's putting his foot down and said, well, I'm taking this away. You can't have this. You can't have that. This is how we structure. We're going to take you guys away from social media. Because as well, with that as well, what you look at it, it's almost like what Armando was saying with Arsenal. If you look at Arteta's come in and lay down some of the rules where you don't really see a lot of the players now on social media as well, where that's a massive part of, you know, they're putting up pictures, they're doing this, they're doing that, which, all right, they have the right to do stuff because it's freedom of speech, whatever they want to do. But play football first before you worry about those sort of social media.
I mean, the thing with our club, though, it is a PR machine, isn't it? So I doubt it's the players themselves who control half the accounts. I think the club have a say in the things that are put out.
Yeah, true. Very true. So obviously Brighton, we are playing Brighton, so we do need to talk a little bit about Brighton as well. And then after we go review a little bit about Brighton, I want to come into the whole thing with his press conference about Cristiano Ronaldo as well, which is another player is top of the agenda yet again. But playing Brighton last season, obviously from last season to this season, as what Ten Hag says, it's a new start, it's a new era, and we can't worry about what happened last season. We just got to concentrate what's in front of us right now. Brighton have lost 2 players so far this season, 2 of their key players so far this season. Man United, we've lost God knows how many. But the way and the style that Potter plays, when he first came to Brighton, I thought they would get relegated with this sort of with him as a manager, because I gave him no chance, no nothing whatsoever. And he actually proved everyone last season. For me, I don't know what you guys think on Monday. For me, he was probably my manager of the season last year for what he's done to Brighton.
Well, I will say this, boldly say this, regarding manager of the season. He's probably the English manager of the season, because not many, and he's probably one of the better ones. He hasn't got much competition in that respect, you know. There's not many good English managers out there, and I think we've got the Nottingham Forest manager coming into the league today. This season, he's someone I rate highly. He's obviously worked through the youths. He's got won the under-17 World Cup in India with players like Brewster, Foden, Angel Gomez, you know, that sort of generation of players that a few years on now are starting to sort of really play well. So he knows young youth football. He's done really well. Same with Potter as well. Potter's sort of come through the ranks, done the hard work, got a good CV, given a club that he can work with. It's beautiful down in Brighton. I've seen the stadium. I go to Brighton quite often, and I love it down there. It's a really nice area for a footballer to grow up and play their football. They play a good brand of football, that's for starters. Very good brand of football, possession-based, very hard to beat. Good. They've got some good youngsters. They've got good scouting system. Like, for example, they brought in Levi Colwill from Chelsea this year. He was at Huddersfield last year. Very good young English defender. And obviously, he's worked with the man. He knows Potter. Within the football circles, he knows what Potter's like, so that's why he's come. Potter can attract a lot of players like Lamptey as well, young English players, because they know, oh my God, I'm going to get a chance here. There's a young player called Taylor Richards who came from Manchester City. He's now gone on loan to QPR, but he went to Brighton as well, because when he considered it, he said, right, Brighton's a good club. They do bring young players through. They've got another guy called Salcido. They brought, I think, from Ecuador. He scored against us last season. He's another young player that they bought for cheap, and he's a good Premiership player already, you know. So they've got a good way of sustaining stuff in the league.
And he's a Man United fan as well on Monday. He's a United
fan. We were very
we
much interested in him as well before he went there.
And he's a United fan.
So yeah, they're very sustainable. There's different ways different clubs have to make themselves sustainable in the league. I think Brighton have to be careful. You can't be dependent on this system's going to work. They need to step it up a little bit. They don't score enough goals, for example, but the football's good, and the players they've had is good. I'm a bit concerned with the players they've lost this year. Could be a bit of weakness. Obviously, they lost their centre back to Newcastle last year in January. They've lost their left back now to Chelsea, and they're relying on Welbeck. Mark Mopé was not really doing it for them. And they brought another striker in from Germany, I believe, now, who's they're hoping they can do the business. But possession football, they just need someone to finish their dinner. I'm not so hot on them anymore because I don't think they've tweaked it enough over the summer. But very good side, very sustainable, and fair play. Potter is the #1 English manager in the league.
And then go to Brush. Brush, obviously, on Monday was alluding to that all they need is probably a good striker. For me, last season, if they had a better striker than Welbeck, I think they would have finished a lot higher.
Yeah, a very good young manager. I wouldn't go as far as to say he was the best last year. I'd probably give that to Eddie Howe. I know he came in late, but well, they came into money, didn't they? And all of that, but you know, they were bottom at Christmas, I believe, and the job that Howe did there was just incredible. But yeah, I like Graham Potter. With regard to them losing 2 of their key players, I have no problem with that whatsoever, especially with our game on Sunday. I'm glad Basuma's not there and Cucurella as well. Bye-bye. Especially after what we had to witness in the last game when we played them. Oh, that was ridiculous. Our midfield was non-existent and Cucurella ran riot.
Yeah. But the way I look at it is last game, it was like, well, last game of the season, the guys were on holiday. Most of them were in IB.
And listen, shout out to Brighton as well, because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't even be in the Europa League right now.
Well, yes. Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true. But let's go to some of the comments before we go to the next part. Mondo, would you mind, please?
I'm going to start with this. So Matthew Bassett saying Porter's a very underrated coach. Give him a good squad, and I reckon he'd do bits. Gavin is saying Porter was an ex-York City player. Big up to Potter. Sorry, I'm saying Porter. Potter, of course. Excuse me. Eddie saying people like Trossard are still dangerous, though, Brush. Do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, no, he's a good player, but obviously, you know, on paper at least, we should win.
Yeah. So players like Trossard, where did he come from? What's his nationality? Where did he come from?
He's Belgian, isn't he?
Yeah, so that's another good scouting player who's Premiership made. More comments here shared with the group about the supposed deadline for Frankie de Jong. This is from Matthew Bassett. He's saying that the 13th of August we'll have our answer. So hopefully you're right there. We should know more by then because they have to register, do the registration for their players. Gavin Ward saying you can tell though that he doesn't like the British media. We're talking about our manager now, Eric. He says I'm not surprised to be honest because the way they always ask questions to fit their own narrative. And we're going to come on to that very soon. Halftime saying you can see a very well executed mid-block Arsenal playing. He's talked to me on Monday. I wasn't expecting that. So Arsenal playing right now. We can't watch it, obviously, because we're watching the show. That's more important. But for the first 15 minutes, I didn't notice that because they were on the attack. A lot of the time had the ball. TALKMU saying you can only measure pre-season on how you played the season before. And in that respect, I think he's saying we have improved somewhat. Okay, and Vincent is saying here for big stars like Marcus Rashford and Martial, they have someone to do for that. It's called a third person to do it. All right, so someone for social media issue he's talking about here. Someone else is doing it for them rather than doing it for themselves. And lastly, Barth I'd say never trust the South American teenage footballers. Talking about Salcido, whatever his name is. Anyway, yeah, that's enough from me. Sorry, before I don't want to miss out on Emma because Emma's got always gems. She's just come in last.minute.com. Where are you from the start, Emma? Emma's saying Brighton is a team that is drilled in the way they play, and from what I know, that's what worries me the most. Okay, that they're well drilled and they're very good. A couple more, sorry, because Bart Times jumped in and said Brighton are an odd team because they rarely finish their chances, draw all the time, and will either be top 8 or bottom 8. Want to say hi to JP87 says same here, excited but nervous, hoping to get a few games this season, has not got to go. You know what? I can't read at the moment. Or people type properly so I can actually read what you're saying. It's you know. Everyone's illiterate tonight.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, guys, if you're watching the channel for the first time, just give us a subscribe. If you're not new to the channel, let's give us a like. So, we've gone a little bit about Brighton. Let's ask the question, because I know with that, Bath Time said either top 8 or bottom 8. And as we're previewing them, or we are playing them, where do you expect them to finish this season, Brush?
Somewhere between about 10th to 15th. Honestly, with how tight our league is from about 8th, 9th onwards to about 15, 16, it's anyone's guess, really.
Okay, Amande?
I always agree with Brush. It's very rarely I disagree with Brush because he's so level-headed. He knows his stuff, and sometimes I just agree with him because I know he's right, without even thinking about it. But yeah, I do agree. Like when you're talking about, we done a show about the top 6. I don't think Brighton get into that bubble. Then we're doing the next few teams like Leicester, Newcastle, West Ham. There's so many good teams, and maybe
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. Oh yeah, good shout.
Yeah,
Aston Villa as well. I don't think they get into that bubble. They're not powerful enough. So then you're talking about 10th place and down. And I think they would be there. I don't know.
And even then, you're competing with the Crystal Palaces. Vieira's done a wonderful job there.
There you go. Brush is right. It's what I'm saying, it's a tough one. Like Brush is saying, the league is fantastic. So you can't predict anything, really.
Yeah. There are 1 or 2, though, I expect to struggle. I think Wolves are going to struggle this season. They're selling off everyone. I don't see much income in either.
Leicester City, Leicester as well.
And Leicester's another one.
Haven't brought anyone in at all.
And they could still lose Tielemans as well.
Yeah.
Vardy's getting on. But
Madison.
Then again, we say that about Vardy every year, don't we? He still bags goals.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. So, guys, we're going to go now a bit more onto United now. And again, press conference, and question was asked about whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo will start. On Monday, you say you're the body language expert here, so I'm going to come to you. You didn't give much away with that question. All he said is he's happy. He's a top striker to have in the squad. We have many players who left early. So he was talking about loads of players left early, but the spotlight was on Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo haven't really featured apart from the Atletico Madrid game in pre-season. Do you think he's a starter, or will you think he will accept and sit on the bench?
It's not what I think; it's what the manager thinks. It's about principles here. Now it was Real that he started 45 minutes
the Vallecano game on Sunday.
Yeah. So it's about the principle. He said. This is the manager said. This is what he has to be careful because he's realizing the media are very sly and very snidey. So whatever you say, they will come back and try to embarrass you about. So he has to be on point. And this is where I think he's starting to learn, because in Holland you can be the manager and you get the respect, I imagine, and you dictate. You've seen what Louis van Gaal's like. He would just, it's like the teacher in front of these journalists, because he will say, I know more than you. How dare you question my authority? I'm a footballing. This is my education. This is what I do. I'm a professor at football. And you are just a little journalist coming in here asking me questions. So there's a hierarchy there. But with English media, it's different. They've got the cheek, which is really, it is a cheek, to try to sort of probe you and try to stitch you up and all this kind of thing. And I think this is why he was sipping for water, talking about body language during the press conference. He's sipping for water because he had to compose himself, because really he wanted to say, what the are you trying to say? And I'm sure he's scanning certain journalists and saying, right, I've got your number, I've got you. Next time you come for it, I'm ready. Your slide, because the initial press conference when he came in and everything, they got such good feedback. But now they're on attack because they're questioning his authority, because he's come out and said he's not fit to, he needs to get fitter and all this kind of thing. And they're bringing it back into the surface now. They didn't mention the water break issue when Ronaldo was playing up. Didn't mention that, but they were pushing for something like that to say, what sort of manager are you? Are you going to play him now, considering that you said he's not fit, for example? Are you going to play him and Martial's not fit? And how is he getting along in training? So he's having to think. You see, when someone asks a question, he's having to think about the answer, because he's knowing there's going to be a backlash. The way there's, because you can sense by vibes, they're being snidey. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he's having to think. I'm not saying he's under pressure or nervous, but he's having to be calculated about his answers now. And have a drink of water, clear his throat, and be composed and say it, because he realised these people are disrespectful as a media, not like it back at home in Holland. And it's going to get to the point where I think he's going to be like Fergie and say, look, I'm not answering that. And he's going to have to do it, or just say, I don't want you in this press conference. You ask me stupid questions, you know? And I think he damn right should, you know? So when it comes to questions about Ronaldo, we're in a situation where Martial's not fit. Martial was playing. Ronaldo's not fit. He's not match fit. If you go and watch Bath Time with Vaughan's video, he's indicating that in 45 minutes, he wasn't pressing, wasn't closing down, maybe being lazy, or maybe just being a strop because he wants to leave. Who knows? It's one of the two. But I tend to think it's because he's not putting the work and he's not fit. So because of that, you can't go ahead and play someone who's not been fit. But then during the week, I've listened to, I know you've heard this as well, Brush, there's been talk coming out from the club that Ronaldo's in training and he's working hard or whatever. But it's not about work, it's about working for the team, working hard for the team. It's all right doing shuttle runs on your own, but what's that to do with the runs that the manager wants you to do, you know? So I do think there's been a bit of exposure today. I've seen a different side of Erik ten Hag, and I feel sorry for him about what he's having to experience from the media and the questions that have been asked, questioning his authority in a way about it. And he has to be consistent now. That's why I'm saying I don't think Ronaldo will start. I think it'll be someone else. And we'll come to your lineup a bit later, and you're usually on the money, Errol.
Yeah. So with that, as well as how Omondi answered that one there, Brush, I'm going to come to you with this similar question as well. Is obviously Ronaldo, one, isn't fit, but two, again, it is true what Omondi is saying is basically he's been training on his own and things like that, but he's not training with. He's not.
Okay,
pardon?
sorry. No, yeah, I didn't say that. I said he's training with the team.
Yeah,
but he's been in Portugal doing his own runs.
Oh yeah, he's doing stuff on his own. So where he's been doing things on, because he's been putting things up on social media, whether or not, again, like we spoke earlier, we said about whether or not the club's putting stuff up on social media, but there was something put up on Instagram account showing him wearing a Man United shirt whilst he was in Portugal training. But whether or not that's true, we don't know. It could be new, could be old, who knows? But when you look at the situation right now with him, and he's 37 years old, and it's a case of if he leaves, he leaves. You know, fair play to him. He's done whatever he can for the club. But for him to stay at Man United, to then take all the money from his wages, and then we could probably go out and buy at least 2 players with that money if he was to leave the club, and then start rebuilding Manchester United without Ronaldo. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, he's not the long-term solution anyway. So if he leaves now, all it does is speed up that process of rebuilding. If not, then we wait a year. But my thing is this. He is under contract. If he leaves under our terms, not his. So if he wants to walk away, he can walk away. But no, there's no way we're paying you out the rest of your contract to leave.
Yeah.
And look what happened with Harry Kane last year when he had a strop after the failed Man City move. Come deadline day, if that passes and you're still here, then you need to buck up and get down to training and join the rest of the team.
Yeah. I just saw something flashed up there as well from Bill Baggio. I think something that's been recently came out about an hour or so ago about Barcelona, the league's doing something with them so they can't register any of the players actually signed.
Yeah, they need to sell, don't they?
Yeah,
but I mean
so
that's what they've been saying for ages. Who knows?
I'm
also hearing. Listen, I'm also hearing that they still want Bernardo Silva. It's all mad.
It's crazy, absolute crazy. So, like, guys, going into this game, then let's go to Monday. How confident are you tomorrow going into Man United versus Brighton tomorrow?
Right, so the issue that I had with Brighton before, which really matched up with 4-0, we got played out of sight. So we played. I remember the 2 games clearly because we covered every single game last season. So the last game we were just mess anyway. They walked through us, you know, and they effed us and didn't even kiss us. It was that bad. The previous game, we at Old Trafford, we were drawing. I think it was 0-0 at half time or 1-1 or something, and we played really poorly and we were all on the back foot. And then we came out in the second half as. Solo, you were saying last year, a game of 2 halves we played last year, came out in the second half and completely worked harder in the first 5 minutes and scored a goal, closed down Basuma, pinched the ball of him, and I think Ronaldo might have scored or someone like that. Yeah, if I recall, we got a little break, pressed them a little high up, and they weren't expecting that. And then we got in the game. Once we were 1-0 up, it sort of changed the dimensions of the game. So this is a team we have to beat them at possession. I think we're better equipped to play possession football, retain the ball, which will give us a few more advantages. And then overall, we have to go from man to man. I think we've got better players and a better system now. We've seen patterns of play where we can score goals over the pre-season, and hopefully we'll be able to deliver that against a Brighton team, which I think are a bit like lopsided and a bit all over the place. It'll take them a while to get going because of the losses they've had with players. And they're not haven't got. I don't think they've got that stature. They haven't built on what they had last year. They've sort of dropped a little by the loss of players and morale. And coming to Man United for the first game with the atmosphere and that kind of thing, I think we've definitely got to get a win. And I say that, with real faith in the coach. I think he's going to push the players to get the win. It might not be because of Ten Hag's strategy. I think it's going to be more like we're going to force it. We've got a lot to prove to the players, to the fans, and the manager and everything else. And he's going to force it, be on the touchline, pushing these guys to really get that result. It's all that matters. Just get the result, and then we can work on the system in the coming weeks. And hopefully by the 20th against Liverpool, we have it right.
Yeah, Brush.
Yeah, listen, I don't care how we get the victory as long as we get the 3 points. That's where I'm with it at the moment. Obviously, the striking situation is a concern with Martial out because he did have a good pre-season, and it's typical, isn't it, that Martial of all people gets injured now. Just can't catch a break, that guy. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I can't see Ronaldo starting. I mean, out of a possible 6 pre-season matches, he's had one half and a couple of training sessions. So I'm guessing it will probably be Rashford up top.
Oh, you might see my team. Let's see if you agree with my team. No, but I think, to be honest with you, what I've seen from pre-season and what I absolutely love about what Ten Hag does, where I haven't seen a manager really and truly have done since Ferguson era, is be on that touchline, walking up and down. It's almost like he's kicking every single ball with them. He's talking to them, he's pulling them in, he's giving them instruction. When someone does something wrong, he's letting them know there and in the spot. Better. I watched the last preseason game, and that's what he was doing on the touchline. He was like pulling people in left, right, and centre. And I think with that's why he fell out with Ronaldo, because he was. If you listen to the commentary, you heard him a couple of times scream Ronaldo's name. Like, for what Ronaldo need to do, Ronaldo need to track back. And with this Man United team, players will be tracking back. You see the likes of Rashford getting back. You see the likes of even Bruno Fernandes is playing sort of a deep or coming back as well, tracking back. You see Martial doing it as well. So this is the positive, what we as Man United fans can look forward to going into this season, knowing the manager basically has got the players playing for him.
Absolutely, but you just need to, also be aware that it's going to take time, because before he arrived, for the best part of about 3 years, we set up to play counter-attacking football, and a lot of that personnel is still there. So it's very difficult to change that, and which is why he is yelling at the touchline and giving people specific instructions. So it's going to take time.
Yeah, right. Anything on that, Monday?
Yeah, that's what time is the master, and the time will be disaster if you don't pray. And when I say pray, as in work towards your goals. And I think the more training sessions we have, the more we're going to improve. That's just the basics of it.
I think Martinez is going to be key. I'm quite intrigued to see where he fits in as well, especially if the transfer deadline passes us by and the squad looks the same as it is now.
Yeah, I can see him strictly being a centre back. I've heard some people say he can play in midfield. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think he's to be centre back, and that's it alone. The manager said today in the press conference about this. He was asked about Maguire and Varane and the 4 centre backs that he had, and he said, "Look, there's plenty of games coming. We will see." As in, basically, you have to rotate, and that's something that's going to happen. So, and I do think once you rotate and then you start to get little partnerships going, that's when the manager will say, well, you've proved it. You've given yourself a first team slot here. You have priority over, say, Lindelof or something. And that's how you're going to get yourself in the team. It's going to be, that's how it should be based. That should be based on performance. A key performance indicator is play well and you probably stay in the team. And I think with clubs, you're going to have a meeting starting the season and say, look, we've all got to give something. if you play well, you probably will keep your place. This is what I think will be said to in the majority of clubs up and down the land. If you play well, you've got an opportunity now to play all the time. And that's what you want to see, because you don't want to see snideness in the dressing room. You don't want to create that sort of atmosphere at all. So someone like Martinez, coming in, respect. But as soon as he gets a game and he starts to play well, for example, he can lock down his place and then no one can say nothing to him because it's done on performance and that alone. There's no favoritism or anything like that. It's about, if you play to my instructions, then you're going to get your slot.
And again, with this as well, Brush, you will know, I used to call Man United last season Friends United, because it wasn't about playing the football. It's about who you know, and especially under Solskjaer as well. It was consistent players making mistakes, and there was no punishment or anything for it. Where you look at other clubs, the minute they're not performing, players were dropped. You look at Arsenal, as much as we were saying Arsenal banter Arsenal, look at Arteta, what Arteta was doing. If someone weren't performing, he would drop those players. At Man United, it seems like the manager is there, but all these players don't have the respect for the manager, so they go above their heads and go to the owners of the club and say, right, we're not playing, or we have to play the game. And it's almost like they've been picked for it, where this season feels totally different.
Yeah, there was no accountability anywhere. It was an absolute shambles. Every week there was leaks of this and that coming out and all kinds of nonsense. So I'm happy that there's structure now. And we've got an actual authoritative figure.
Yeah. And he's got it on the training ground, on the pitch, and in the press conference. Absolutely loving it. Mondo, would you mind going through some of the comments, please? And guys,
I'm seeing now a lot of comments because there's discussions going on about the barter finances and that kind of thing, which is a bit off topic, and I'll leave them to it. But I've just kind of singled out a few which are relevant to the show. So just going here, Emma Kay is talking about Ten Hag when he was at Ajax. She said it took Ten Hag 3 to 4, she means months, at Ajax, and the fans hated it at first. So the fans weren't happy with the performances maybe or the results. But after 3-4 months, obviously you saw what happened. They were doing really well. They got successful. MUFC saying Ronaldo was in the penalty box defending corners against Real. He shouldn't be dropping back so far. Brush, do you want to touch on that?
It's an interesting one because at his age, he's not really mobile enough to be tracking and getting back in that. Like, you just have to stick
even on set pieces.
Yeah, you have to just he's a limited player at this age. You have to just make up for those deficiencies.
You say that, but I saw him got the ball from Garnacho at one stage, and it was like the old prime Ronaldo just running, trying to take on about 2 or 3 players. Don't get me wrong, he did run into traffic, but
this is the thing. He tried it, and for all of us that remember the old days, it's that quick flashback, isn't it? And you just think, but then this is the difference. Now he bumps into him.
Yeah, but you know what it is, though? When he got the ball and he started running, his chest, he just put his chest up, and then sort of the hand movements start coming. I was going, yes, go on. I got up and I was like, come on, Ronaldo, yes, But
and this is the thing as well. It's very deceiving because obviously, the guy's got 5% body fat or something. He looks amazing, but nobody can reverse the aging process. Unfortunately, you're simply, no matter how good a shape you're in, you're simply not going to be who you were at 27, at 37.
And I think Brush, Bathtime just put something in the comment about Ariel, and me, you were talking about this the other day, weren't we? About how high he jumped in that goal was it for Juventus?
Listen, like 7, 8 feet in the air, it's madness. A lot of his goals at Juve were aerial as well. And again, you need to get, if you want to get the best out of Ronaldo, you need him in the box. You need to get balls to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with it as well, because I think me and you were talking about the goal he scored against Roma, that header against Roma. To me, it's in the Man United shirt, so I don't really care about what he did for Juventus. I just know that goal was out this world. Sorry, Armando.
Yeah, that was all. That's the only comments I'm going to do. But I think it was all about Ronaldo, what we were discussing there, and it is a good conversation because it's all right here. I think it's all right for him coming back for corners because he's 6 foot something. He can do a job there. But it's just the work that he does as a striker. I know Dennis Bergkamp made a quote once while he was playing for Arsenal. He was saying, look, I do my work, all this sort of donkey work that we have to do in the team. I will do my work, save my energy for when it really matters to be effective, And I thought, yeah, that's good. That makes a lot of sense. But in this day and age where you're asked to do everything as a team and to sort of press as a team and do everything as a team. I don't think he can afford to get away with that anymore. And Ronaldo, I think he believes. So if I'm Ronaldo, like you said, I'm thinking I've done everything. I've got, I can finish. I'm better finishing than anyone in here. Feed me the ball and I'll score. And the attitude that he has, that he displays with his body language, suggests that too. I'm not a mind reader, but just look at his body language, like, right, just give me the ball. Well, let's, think. There was a movement in the game the other day where he came deep to get the ball on the halfway line and to peel off his defender. He wanted a few touches. He had his back to goal. There's no one behind. This on the halfway line. Someone played it to him with his back to goal. There was no one on his back, and someone said, "Time, turn," and he just played it first time pass back to the defender. Didn't even look, and then the defender played it back to him, and he played it back again. And someone, I think maybe the manager, was screaming at the sideline saying, "Turn out. What are you doing?" And it's true. I mean, what are you doing? Let's turn out and drive, or let's be effective. Let's be direct, because I think the manager likes to play a direct kind of game. Not like Louis van Gaal, where it's it's wide and slow. He wants to play a bit direct and have 3-4 touches and score a goal. That's a kind of thing. So Ronaldo can't be in his own little bubble. He has to be on board with what the team wants him to do, and that is the real issue I think we're having here. Is about the manager against Ronaldo being Ronaldo against the manager, trying to incorporate him, trying to get him on side, but also saying, "I'm the boss here. You need to do what I want you to do, not what you want to do." Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the issue. It's like a mental, spiritual battle between the two of them, and it needs to be resolved as soon as possible. And who knows, he might start or come off the bench and win us the game. And then we'll be saying, "Oh, wow." But then it could give him the conversation. You see, I was right.
I don't need to train.
It's an issue. If he puts him on the bench and he comes on and scores and wins the game for us, the manager's going to be like, "Oh my God, just put me in the worst position." Ronaldo's going to now, his ego's going to even more like say, "See, you need me. I can do what I want to do on the pitch and I'll score goals and win." Whereas the manager really should be saying, "I'm going to drop you, play Ahmad or someone else, and we'll win the game. And it'll show you we don't need you. You have to get on board." So do you see what I'm saying? For the sake of the team and for the manager's reputation, he's got a lot to think about right now.
It's a fine margin, like you said, with it. But like we say, is we got to back the manager. We got to defend the manager. Whether the manager say the manager is right, no matter what happened right now going into the season. So, Amanda, would you mind going through some of these comments? And guys, what I want to do is for those of you who do not know about the solo 11, I pick a combined 11 for the game for Sunday, and see whether or not you guys agree with it. Also, if you wouldn't mind putting your combined 11 in the chat as well, and then we'll get them read out and see how close they are to my 11. So before we do that though, Amanda, would you mind doing some comments? While Amanda's doing the comments, just put your team in. And also, Brush, this is your opportunity to also get your team up as well.
A combined what? Brighton and United 11?
No. Sorry, I'm saying combined. Sorry. Man United. I'm saying combined. Apologies, guys. Man United 11. Apologies.
Rush, we're on the same page. That was my next line. Say combined what?
We can't do a combined 11. It would be all Brighton. It'd be all Brighton, not Man United. After that drumming last season. Apologies. So it's a Man United 11.
Basically, how you think we're going to line up?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Bart is saying here, one advantage Ten Hag utilising the current squad is that he may get a decent sum for squad players in the future windows. Also, has anyone noticed that we already started aging? He's already started aging. This is what they say about managers coming to our league. MEFC saying, "I was at the game with Real. Ronaldo was off the pace for sure, but he can still improve a lot." Bath Time saying Ronaldo was an utter disgrace against Real. Emma saying, it's all about if he actually wants to improve. So there you go. That's a great point. Does he really want to? He can improve, but does he want to? Bart is saying, "I feel that he will not start with a false nine as the squad is not yet accustomed to that system. He used the false nine system at a later stage against 20, where they were UEFA Cup Champions League team with a Champions League team under him." Okay. Just going through here. Sorry, I haven't indicated some key ones, but I've got some here. Sorry. Bart saying you can reverse the aging process. Tell him to go for telomerase therapy as a periodic shortening of the telomere at the end of DNA replication is responsible for aging. I don't know. You must be a scientist. Let bath time deal with that one. I've no idea. MUFC saying Cristiano Ronaldo is the most effective in attacking areas. He just can't keep running back. His legs won't allow it. But his finishing is still the best in the game. I do agree with that comment. That's a very good comment there. And finally, I'm going to pick. All right, I'm going to go with Bath Time and Bill Baggio. Bath Time saying, "For my only hope for Ronaldo at this point is that with no one wanting him, that he starts pressing and scoring like a demon to try to get a move to a Champions League club after the World Cup in January." Bill Baggio, how you doing, Bill Baggio? We appreciate you for all the work you do as well for the Man United agenda and the comments and things. So we love you for that. Bill Baggio saying Ronaldo's finishing is all right. He does his goals with volume of shots. Someone like Lewandowski is a better finisher. Do you want to hold on to that brush? I don't know what you think about that. But MUFC saying Bath Time, Man United will be a Champions League club next season. And finally, Matthew Bassett saying this is a squad for you. Oh, we've got a few, sorry. So De Gea, right back, Delo, Varane, Martinez, Harry Maguire, Marsilia, Eriksen, Fred, Sancho, Fernandes, Garnacho, Rashford. That's a personal choice. We've got Dave, Dalot, Maguire, Martinez, Marsilia, Fred, Scott, Bruno, Rashford, Sancho, Martial from Bill Baggio. Bath Time saying, I know what Bart's talking about, but I would just tell him everything he was saying. But there's something called Hey Flicks. I just don't understand what you guys are talking about. You have to do a video on it, possibly. And I'm going to do one more team. Is there one more? Oh, here we go. Eddie's got a team out. He's saying preferred would be David De Gea, Delo, Bailey, Martinez. Oh, this is his preferred team. This is a personal team, not what you think's going to happen. Marsilia, Fred, Eriksen, Donny, Sancho, Ronaldo, and Rashi. I'm going to leave it there for now.
Oh, wow. Bart's actually giving us something sensible as well.
Oh, sorry. I've jumped off that. I'm going to find that again. Bart is saying here, this is his 11. De Gea, Martinez, Varane, Dalot, Marsilia, the fullbacks, Fred, Iqbal. Woo! Love that. Bruno, Rashford, Sancho, Eriksen left. Good team there.
Okay. Matthew Bassett has just ruined my day, though. He's telling me one of my players I've got in the team is injured, but we're not sure.
Oh. Was he injured, Brush, or did he have a flu or something like that, Sancho?
There was a slight doubt with him. I'm not sure. Okay. But hopefully he should be all right.
Of course he'll be all right. So guys, if you can see on the screen, and yes, Bath Time, it is back. The solo 11 combined. But I've got to say one thing to you though. You'll have put some credit in the bank for me, because on my fantasy league, I have got Harry Winks in it.
Where does this combined thing come from? Because you're proper confusing me every time you say combined 11.
No, it's my 11, Man United 11. Apologies, my Man United 11. So every week, what I normally do, I'll get a Man United 11 that I think that might play.
Right. Because you know what it is? Because I've been on other channels where they do match previews, and they end up doing a combined 11 of the two teams. So
okay.
Yeah.
No. If we played Liverpool, there's no way we could do this, or Man City. A combine, we'll be outnumbered. So let's just pull some of the comments off a second. I'm on this, sorry.
Just to let you know, yes, Emma's saying Sancho's got a cold. It's a common cold.
Oh, it's common. He'll be fine. He'll be all right. So Monday, let's kickstart with this. And obviously, I have brought in the main man himself, Martinez, at the back as well. And also, so if you look through this team, is there anyone or any changes you'd make to this team? And guys in the comments as well, is there any change in this team you'd make as well?
Right, for me, goalkeeper fine. Harry Maguire should start for sure. I don't know about Martinez. He hasn't played that much. He didn't go on tour with them, did he? So I'm not sure about players like Eriksen and Martinez, because they didn't go on tour, had the full pre-season. I don't know what the manager would do, but I do like him. I do think he's fit and ready. I think he could start in this game. So I would play Martinez, but I don't think the manager will. I think he'd play Lindelof. Left back, I'm happy with that. Shaw's been out. Maybe he's not fit yet. Maybe he's had a cold. Right back, 100%. The midfield now is really key, isn't it? I think a lot of people, there's so many variations. For me personally, I do like Zidane Iqbal. I think eventually I'd like to see him start in games, because I think he's that good. Once he gets training and gets more understanding of what we want. But at the moment, yeah, it has to be McTominay and it has to be Fred, and with either Eriksen or Bruno. In this respect, you put Bruno in, no issue with that. Up front, we've got an issue because Martial's not playing, and Ronaldo is a possibility, but he hasn't had the training, like I'm saying, with Martinez and Eriksen fully. So it depends on the manager. And with the attitude that he's had, even though he probably realises he's the only number 9 out there, with, you know, who can bang goals as well, top goal scorer last season. So it's very interesting to see what happens there. At the moment, I actually would start Ronaldo because it's about getting results, 3 points, and then you can deal with everything afterwards. But I like what you've done there. You brought in Elanga. I also think a lot of people in the comments will say Garnacho would have a good shout after he performed the other day because they like him going forward. It's whether he does the work going back. That's the issue. So I think it's a good team you started with for the first game of the season, Solo. And your combined Harvester 11 is not bad. Yeah, we'll get used to your staying here.
Brilliant. Brush, any changes from that team? Or you got a completely different team?
No, it's very close to what I think it will be. Yeah, like Omondi said, I can't see Martinez starting just because, you know, they did arrive late and didn't get the proper pre-season under his belt that he needed. Even without it, I probably would start it, but I don't think the manager will, so he'll probably start on the bench. Aside from that, yeah, there's not too much wrong with that, you know. And then if we do start like that, then hopefully we see a bit of Garnacho towards the end for Elanga. That would be nice. Like Omondi said, Ronaldo, say what you will, he is the best finisher that we have at our club. There's no question about that. It'll be very interesting to see how the manager handles that whole situation. So it might well be the case that he starts on the bench, but then he brings him on and gives him a chance.
Yeah, I just want to run through a couple of players as well quickly. Is obviously pre-season. Looking at Malaysia pre-season, it looks fantastic, Brush, don't you think?
Yeah,
looks like taking over Luke Shaw straight away.
Touch wood. I was kind of hoping that it would have a similar effect to when we first signed Alex Telles. So I'm hoping it will put a battery in Luke's back as well over the course of the season. It will be good to have a bit of competition. And yeah, if he can get back to what he was about 2 years ago, that would be great.
Yeah. And again, the defense of Harry Maguire, apart from the first game, he hasn't really put a foot wrong, has he, on Monday?
No, I don't think. Look, this is what I'm saying. He's not a bad player. Let's forget that. He's just played in a bad system that didn't help the defense at all last season. When you got players bombing on at him and there's no support, no system in place to protect him, no shape at all. So it's unfair on what happened to him last season. And he should be back at that and say, "Wow, at least now I've got a manager who's setting up to protect us." If Bath, in the famous words of Bath time, with whether we call it a rest defense or just that security and insurance that we have in the team now, there's going to be less chances of us being broken on and being played, and less chances for us to be played through if the players are on board and they listen to what the manager's doing. So I think Harry Maguire and the defence will have a better season this year, and they don't come over bad players overnight. It's the system that was bad. The system's improved, and he will be having a lot more of the ball, spraying the ball around, even driving into areas to bring the numbers up and create something. I think he's got a lot of work to do this season, and he's going to show his true qualities.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. I was going to go with Omondi, but Omondi, I'm not going anywhere near you with this one. In pre-season at the moment, actually, you know what? Let's go with Brush. Pre-season so far, Bruno Fernandes, if any player looks out of sort, it has been him, really, hasn't it? He hasn't really done too much in pre-season. Is that a concern?
Not really, because we kind of said this would happen, didn't we? So it's one of those. It's just going to take some time for him to adjust to the system. Can he or not? Time will tell. I'm not too fussed about it though, because we've got Eriksen there now.
Yes, true.
Who can step in if needed.
Again, Omondi, a player that not a lot of people rate at Man United, but it seems like under the last two managers, he's improved under Ranić, and now it seems like also with Ten Hag trust him as well, and that is Fred.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and not to disappoint you, Solo, because I know you're a big fan of Fred. And look at him, and in the pitch he's smiling, looks happy to be at Man United, and damn right he should be happy to be at Man United because I don't think he's good enough. Same with his partner there. McTominay. I don't think they're good enough either. They do a good job, and this is the thing. What keeps them aside? They're doing things they're trying their best to do something for the manager. But I don't think they're good. They've got good quality. Regardless of the chip he scored against Liverpool, all these things, when it happens, I sigh. I don't jump up and celebrate. I sigh. Here we go. Fred's going to get more endorsement now, and there's going to be another reason why Errol, especially on our show, is going to say Fred's a good player. He's a decent player, but I don't think he's going to take us anywhere. I don't think he's a midfield dynamo in the same fashion of someone like in our rivals. Look at even Basuma. I think is maybe better than him. Even like I'm looking at Tottenham, look at Chelsea, they've got Conte. I look at Man City, they've got Gundogan.
Different sort of player, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but I'm just saying it as complete players. I just don't think these players, him and McTominay are up to scratch. The reason why I think he's not strong enough. I don't think he's composed on the ball. He does things at 100 miles an hour, doesn't slow down in the game. He works hard, granted, but I just don't think he's like a flea around.
But like you said with Harry Maguire, Mondi, I think last season, there was parts where he just hasn't been used right. When Ralph came in and he got the freedom to, push on a bit further forward, I think we saw the best out of Fred.
When you say the best, if that's the best, then there's levels out here, and that best is not good enough in my opinion.
Listen, if that's the case, then half our squad ain't good enough, isn't it? So it is what it is.
Yeah, agreed. So when pressed on the situation about Fred, I do. So you're saying him playing higher up the pitch helped him out, because when we see him playing deep and bring the ball out, help to bring.
He can't do that. Just the amount of time. Yeah.
Instead, we had Troy Deeney said it brilliantly.
And decision making as well, because there were certain times where I'd see Harry just pass it out to him, and then Fred would have two guys on him, and he's under pressure when he receives the ball in our half. He gives it away, and then it just all goes out the window. It's mad. Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think overall that the midfield is good enough at all, but I don't think they're bad like rotation options. I don't think they're as bad as people make it seem
for them to be.
Sorry. Just see, let's look at this way. I'm looking at the squad. This is my personal opinion, and obviously it's up for the debate. But for me, I think Iqbal, Garner are over Fred already, because I think they got a higher ceiling, and I like what they do. They're more comfortable getting the ball out from deep than Fred, and I think they can play better higher up the pitch.
I'm a big fan of the kids. I just don't want to rush them or put too much pressure on them, so I won't go that far just yet. But yeah, over time. Listen, there's plenty of games this season, a lot of cup matches. I would love to see more of the kids.
Rush, right? You're a smart man. If you're Iqbal or Garner and you're doing training with these guys every day of the week, and you realise.
Listen,
if
you're one of those kids right now,
you're realizing you're better than these guys. You're doing better.
If you're one of those kids right now, there's a real opportunity. Like everything's there for the taking.
And I think, like you said earlier on Monday as well, when we first started the stream off, it's about opportunity and taking opportunity when it's present itself to you. And if they come on and they present themselves and they take it, then fair play to them. But at the moment, the manager must be seeing something in Fred over everyone else.
What is that thing then? We're on the panel. What is he seeing in Fred?
I think Fred's hard working. Again, I know we're talking about on the football pitch. There's other aspects of it, but obviously he's hard working. He does sort of break up play. He gets around the pitch as well. He's not the finished article, like we said. He's not one of those technical players.
He's 29.
27, 28. 24. He's got a new passport. I've just given him one. 23 Fred. 23 years old.
We're talking about not finished article, and he's nearly.
All the attributes you said there were about working hard. That's the thing.
But again, the same thing. All right. I'm going to ask you a question.
You're supposed to work hard. And this is the problem. Now we've got a manager who's going to get everybody to work hard. I think players with better quality, if they start learning the system better, will have a higher ceiling. Like Garner, for example, like Iqbal and Savage and all these guys, I think they've got a higher ceiling. And if they work hard and start learning how to play the game under Ten Hag, they're gonna walk in the side. In my opinion,
Yeah, of course they will, because they're going to get the opportunity and take it.
Ten Hag is the type of manager who will play them eventually and say, "I'm done with you guys," because he's done it at Ajax with Graven Birch and all these guys. He's brought them in. Graven Birch was skinny, 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, and he was still getting games coming in and had that trust from the manager. So when you say about experience and there's too much pressure for young players, I think you've got a manager that gives the young player the right mentality to say, no fear, go out there, play your game, and do it the way I want you to do, and you will shine. I'm fed up with this myth talk about, oh, they're too young to play. This is what's happened. That's why we lose players like Angel Gomez, who I thought would have been fantastic in our side, because this thing, oh no, he's not ready yet. Make him ready.
Being young isn't a problem in itself. You just have to establish a structure and system. So you can't just dash in these young kids. If they're coming into something that's organized, then it's totally fine. The only concern is obviously their bodies are still developing. So in terms of the fitness, it might not be there. So that's the kind of things that you need to manage with young players. But yeah, I don't have an issue with age as such and giving them an opportunity. Look at Cesc Fabregas. He was 17 years old when he broke into the Arsenal team.
Yeah,
great. And he had a manager. Do you see what I'm saying? Who thought, he's got the quality, I'm going to bring him in, and he was shining from that age. So that's a great example there, Brush.
Well, like I said, I'm on it earlier. It's going to be down to the players to take the opportunity. At the moment, the manager is seeing something in Scott and Fred. We're giving them the opportunity, and for that player to say, you know what, you always say, bang the door down and go to the manager. I want to take part, and once he's get the opportunity, then take it, cement that position in the team. Then there's no complaints about, I'll still back Fred no matter where he goes. Now I'm going to get Fred hoodie, Fred t-shirt, Fred wall art, you name it, Fred.
Listen, I'm the opposite. The moment they stop wearing our badge, I don't care what happens.
Me and you both. Unless it's Eric Cantona, then I care. That's it. So guys, Amanda's going to go through some of the comments now. What I want to do is I want you to give us your score prediction for the game Man United versus Brighton, and then we'll read those out as well. So score predictions, next part. So
we're talking about Fred. I'm just randomly going through some comments here. Bart saying Fred can be a good water carrier as a number 8 like Gigi for Klopp was. I don't think he can. Bath time saying Fred's an excellent squad player that helps support Ronaldo's lack of work rate. If Ronnie plays, Fred has to play. We've got a team here from Gavin Ward, De Gea, Melassia, Varane, Maguire, Delo, Martinez. That's 3 centre-backs. Eriksen, Bruno. So he's got Martinez in midfield. Rashford, Ronaldo, and Sancho. So there you go. You've got Martinez midfield there. Matthew Bassett saying McTominay is one of the worst midfielders in the league. Just randomly we've not seen any Fred's names. Fred, the piano carrier, says Matthew Bassett. Emma saying Fred with 5 goals this season and 1 is a header. I'm calling it now.
Thank you, Emma. What if Fred get player of the season, player of the season this season, yeah? What forfeit will you do on Monday?
That's a crazy statement. That's a forfeit that Omondi doesn't have to worry about.
Wow. Can we go to the Fred thing? Because it's getting a bit embarrassing now. All these statements coming out. MUFC saying if Fred doesn't improve this season under Erik Ten Hag, then I would sell him because we need world-class players in every single position. Eddie's come and said Fred has Kante's energy, good at counter-press, good at nicking the ball. Bart is saying Graveness was a prodigy. Top clubs have known about him for a while. Dutch coaches aren't afraid to give them chances, but you need a core of 18 players. I want to say hi to Kenshi. How you doing, man? Long time no see. Says, as long as my mind is ready, my body will catch up. Las Massilia, the Barcelona Academy, and future Ajax Academy. This is what they say. So it's not about physicality. It's about the mind and the technique. And then the physical body stuff will catch up eventually. I totally agree. And in response, Bath I'm saying Marcelo. How do you pronounce it?
Marcelo? I've been calling him Malassia, but I don't know if that's.
I don't know. They're saying the
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Malassia.
Barcelona.
Oh, La Masa.
La Massa, sorry,
Yeah.
excuse me, guys, and the future turnout of players that have completely unsuited for any other club. This is one of Barcelona's big problems. So he's saying here, when they're building players at Barcelona, they can only play the Barcelona player way. They can't go along to other clubs and be successful. And we've got score lines here, so I'm going to start with them. 3-0 to Man United, says TalkMU. Gopal said Fred is a red. 2-1 to Man United, said Mr. B. 2-1 says MUFC. 1-1 says Bart. Oh, thanks a lot, Bart. 2-0 says Gavin Wards. And 2-1 to United. Brighton Mascara says Eddie. Bill Baggio saying 2-0 to Fred Banana Kicks from 30 yards. And Bart saying 3-0 Liverpool. Okay, 1-1 with Man United. And 7-0 to United, says Vincent. Yeah.
Wow, Vincent. Right, let's go. OMONDI, score prediction, please.
Well, last year it was all about 1-0, control the game, see the game out. I would take that this time around. I just think I was going to say about a 2-goal margin. You know, I thought we might win comfortably. Based on Brighton's loss, they've gone down a little bit, in my opinion. But with the Ronaldo issue, the not having Martial, maybe Sancho as well has got a bit of a cold. It's causing doubt in my head, and I don't want to say. So I'm going to go back to my 1-0 control the game, see it out. All I want is 3 points, as Matty says here. I'm with Matty. He says I just want 3 points and a solid start to the season. So I don't really care how we get it, based on the squad selection issues and injuries or whatever. But I just think maybe 1-0 will be enough to get the result.
Brush. I love the 1-0. You know what, Brush? Yeah, all last season when we first started the channel up, 1-0, see the game out. That was it.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
Dunk to score own goal. Don't worry about it.
Listen, I'll take that. if that's what it takes to get us over the line, I'll take it. I'm going to be confident. Maybe a bit naive. I'm going to go 2-0.
Oh, wow.
I'll be very impressed if we keep a clean sheet. I don't know where that second goal is coming from.
Usually, to be honest with you, I normally go for a 3-1 score. I always go for like a 3-1, but I'm not going to go for a 3-1. I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 score. Don't think we can keep a clean sheet. But one thing I know, Gavin, you are watching. Fred will get an assist tomorrow on Sunday. That's it. OMONDI, big smile on your face. What was that?
Bath Time's making jokes.
Said something.
Down. It's gonna, yeah. I don't know if I should read it or not, but like Bright Eyes. Remember the song Bright Eyes? We were discussing it the other day. He really makes me laugh. Bath Time. He's a comedian. Emma saying, I don't know what Bath Time is talking about, but I don't want any red cards. So he's talking about he wants a bloodbath out there. He wants what he's basically trying to say. He wants war. He's declared war on the Premiership. He wants Man United to go out there and take people down, because he got really excited the other day when he saw some passion from Scott McTominay when we were playing Atletico Madrid. Do you remember that, Brush?
I would like all that passion to be saved for game week 3.
Yes.
Until that point, let's keep our heads. Let's get 6 points on the board. And then, against Liverpool, Armageddon.
Yep, let's take it. But guys, I would like to say thanks to everyone who watch, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Brush, where can we find you, sir?
You guys can catch me here when I occasionally jump on. Aside from that, you can see me you can catch me on Twitter at Brushy87, all capitals. Aside from that, just about in the community, really.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Always amazing having you on with your good knowledge. OMONDI, we know where to find you, but go on.
You can obviously find me here, but I just want to say to Brush, face to face, Brush, I really like you, and you talk a lot of sense when it comes to football. I want you to attend the Man United agenda more often, because we always summons you to come, and you should play it cool. I just want to say to everyone out there, Brush does a lot behind the scenes. He's like the Don King of the football community. He's like a promoter. But he doesn't rip us off. He gives us good content, and he pays us with his presence alone. So give big shout out to Brush, man, because he's doing good stuff behind the scenes. A lot of this is voluntary for us, but with Brush, he does it voluntary, and he's a giver. He's not a receiver; he's a giver. And and that's why I respect him so much, because he comes on, gives great content, great shows, but then behind the scenes he's organising people and building a community like this for the Man United Agenda and other channels as well. So fair play to you. You've got ultimate respect for the Man United Agenda, and you've always got.
I haven't quite got Don King's hair though.
Oh no, but it is brilliant what Brosh is doing out there in the community. So I'm in other WhatsApp group with Brosh as well, and he's absolutely fantastic how he's trying to get all communities together. And thanks to Brosh, we've stumbled upon other people as well who now we can bring onto the channel as well.
Yeah, I know you guys are doing some FPL stuff as well with Rebel. So
yes.
Yeah, at some point I'd love to jump onto that. I myself am doing some FPL stuff as well over on Grizz's channel. So that will be coming once a week.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, looking forward to it. And you definitely can. Rebel is probably rewatch this show afterwards and get in contact with you, but we'll let him know anyway for you. But guys, from us, yes, I did notice as well. Bath Time is saying about the views on the eye test as well. I did notice it. So
what's he saying?
Thanks, Brush, as well. Thanks, Brush. Thanks, Bath Time, because I think Bath Time is going to be back with you again, isn't it, on Monday, on Tuesday?
Well, here's a summons you're going to get through your door, Bath Time. You are summons back. I just want to say this as well. We've done a show Tuesday, 10 o'clock. We're going to try and do it every Tuesday, 10 o'clock. I got so much good feedback from my football community, people that play football. I've shared it with them. And Bath Time, everyone's saying that you're a wonderful guy. You talk a lot of sense. You got a lot of wit and humor, and they like how you deliver your football knowledge. Some of it, I've got a few guys that might come on, coaches who might disagree with you on certain things, but overall, what a great feedback you're getting from my end as well. So I suggest everyone check out the show. It's called Eye Test. It's with me and Bath Time, and we're discussing everything tactically. And if you want to come on and talk tactics with us, please, the door is open. You're welcome to come in and to our boot room and get down to business.
And remember, guys, I know there's only 10 now in the chat. Everyone's left. There is the Friday night takeaway, and Mr. B will be on, and TalkMU is back tonight as well. So make sure you go check them out as well, guys. Straight after this, in 15 minutes time, make sure you give them a like. And if you're new to the channel, just get your comments in as well and get involved in the chat.
Enough time for you guys to go grab yourselves a drink.
There you go. Exactly. And guys, from us though, big up everyone, big up Eddie as well in the chat. And from us, good night. And make sure you tune in for 10 o'clock show tonight, and also the watch along on Sunday as well. So make sure you check that out. Take care, guys. Bye.
See you later.